Each of us have different God pictures. We think of God in a different way. We see God in a different way. And what God does is through our spiritual journey is that He removes that which is in between us and God so that we can see Him in a clearer way. You know, when people look at God, they have a filter. It's almost like that filter of Snapchat or Instagram, you know, where you distort the face, and so what looks like a normal face, you know, all of a sudden because of the filter, boom, it looks like a monster. That's what happens when we go through our, let's say, you have a absentee father, you have a parent who does not look at your goodness but only looks for wherever and whenever you do wrong. What do you call that? So you're raised up in that way, but parents are our God pictures. They're the first images of God to us. And so, when you look at God, it's like you can't see how good He is because you have this filter. The filter of how you were raised up by parents, uncles, aunts, grandpa, grandma, teachers, religious leaders. Some of them gave us a wrong image of God. And so growing up like that, we've got this filter. Sometimes we experienced pain in our life. We went through a lot of shadows and storms. So that's why what we need to do, and this is what spiritual growth is all about. Spiritual growth is about removing the filters. As we began our spiritual journey, you know, the filters are there, but then as the weeks, months, years, and decades go by, the filters drop off, and then you begin to see clearly who God is. When will there be no filter? In heaven. That's the only place. But hopefully, you see, why is seeing God more accurately very, very important? Why is it connected to spiritual growth? I'll tell you why. Because you become like the God that you worship. If spiritual maturity is to become like Jesus, how can you become like Jesus if there are so many thick filters that distort the image of God? There are two extremes about this whole idea of having God pictures. Some God pictures are biased towards God is a monster. Other God pictures are biased towards God is a mascot. He is cute and cuddly, and you know, when I'm down and lonely, I grab him from the shelf and I get a hug from him, and he gives me warm feelings. My dear friend, God is not a monster. God is not a mascot. God, for me, after 40 years of journeying in the spiritual life, I believe God is a missionary. From heaven, He goes to earth, and He makes me my mission. You are God's mission. And He calls you to be a missionary with Him. He is not a mascot because He will disturb your existence. He will disturb your whole idea of living a selfish life. He will say, nope, you're going to be like me. You're going to die for others. You're going to forget yourself. And you're going to devote your life to mission. My dear friend, I would want you to constantly cry out to God to let Him reveal Himself more to you. This was such an amazing time. I really felt that, you know, God was at move, working, walking through the aisles, touching the hearts of people through the messages, through the testimonies, through. It was such a beautiful time. There was the presence of God so palpable, and I'm just privileged to see that, witness that, and to make it happen. So I'm gonna speak into your life. I believe that God has a plan for your life, and that if you open up your heart to Him, He's going to be there, and He's going to touch you, He's going to heal you, and He's going to bless you. Hope you join me at the holy, we call it the Grand Easter Feast here in Moa Arena. It's going to be a blast. And the link is there below, and I hope you join me. Bring your friends and family. It's going to be amazing. You will be blessed.